You must trust your animal instinct, Tiff. Welcome to the St. Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana, and...
I'm Mike Russo, and I just got back from the bat room.
What's going on, Mike?
I'm good. Hey, we're finally up to ABC Season 2. How about that?
We finally got there, and today we're saying farewell to somebody, but it's not their last episode. It just we can't do it on their other two appearances that they got coming up. So we got a special guest with us today. Who is that, Mike?
We have a return guest. She's been in so many episodes already. We're so glad to have her back. Welcome back, Tiffany.
Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
All right. So, Tiff, I brought you on today. You already know why, but, for the people tuning in, me and you are Morgana fanboys, or for you, fangirl.
I like her, too.
Oh, yeah. We got to kill that perception that Mike hates Morgana. That is not true. I don't know why there's that perception. I just don't like
some of the episodes she's in, that's all.
Yeah. He's just not as crazy about her as me and Tiff are. But I wanted Tiff on here so we could kind of just talk about Morgana a little bit, and then Mike would jump in with us and talk a little bit about Saturday morning, because I didn't experience this episode as a Saturday morning episode.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay, so Tiff, what was the first episode you saw of Morgana?
I think it was Justice Ducks. I think. I mean, I saw them all when they aired. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's the first time I saw her, because I missed Fungus Among Us. Fungus Among Us came first on a Saturday morning. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, see, I missed that one. So Justice Ducks popped on, Tiff. I didn't know who she was, but I liked her immediately.
I think I don't know, maybe I didn't get to Saturday morning then, and I was just watching them on the Disney afternoon, and I didn't join Saturday morning until later. Because I'm pretty sure Justice Ducks was the first episode I saw her in. And yeah, same thing. It was confusing.
Yeah, because for me, it was weird seeing her as a good guy. And then later on, she came back as the bad guy. Was it My Valentine Ghoul or?
Ghoul of My Dreams.
Ghoul of My Dream. Yeah. So it was kind of, I was thrown off guard. Like, okay, what just happened here? Wasn't she a good guy? Was she one of the Justice Ducks? I was a little confused by that. But I did like her. I don't really have a preference. Do you, Tiff, as her as a villain or a good guy?
Not really. I mean, I like her both.
I like her both too. To me, it's like I like the balance where she has two. I think it's only 2 episodes where she is the bad guy, and then the rest she's good.
Yeah, I don't like when they make her character, I don't know, kind of like she's not good at what she does. It's pathetic or something. But they don't always do that with her character.
No, this episode I don't think they did. They did kind of voiced her, but her powers I don't think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This one isn't really Morgana's story, unfortunately.
No, not at all. But she's still fun in this episode. We can't say farewell to her in the next 2 because one of them is obviously Hot Spells, which is the band episode, and we got a lot to talk about on that one. And then what was the other episode, Mike?
Malice's Restaurant.
Yeah, we got to say goodbye to Naked Duck and the Muddlefoot there, so we can't say goodbye to her as well. It's just too much going on that one. So, go ahead, Mike. You about to say something?
No.
Okay. Now, Tiff, were you a fan of her lackeys? Eek and Squeak and Archie?
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
super adorable.
I've always wondered which one was the one with the tongue out. Is that Squeak just by default?
I'm not sure.
That's how I've always classified them. Eek is the competent one and Squeak is the tired one.
I think Archie is hilarious.
Now, Tiff, you're an artist. You have really great drawings. Do you like her design?
Oh, yeah, I love her design. I was a huge fan. I mean, I'm a horror girl for sure. So I loved Elvira as a kid, and I loved Morticia, and it's just, along those same lines, except way more Disney-fied by giving her a red dress instead of a black dress. I think that was nice.
Okay. I've always liked her. She really came off to me as the Addams Family or the Munsters or Frankenstein's The Bride of Frankenstein. Ain't that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Her hair.
Yeah. Now, Is she considered the monster bride of Frankenstein? Because ain't Frankenstein really considered? He's called the monster
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein is the scientist, obviously.
Okay. Now, you know what? This is gonna be so off the wall, going left here, Tiff. I'm gonna throw you off guard here. What's the name of that Tim Burton movie? That's a Disney one. It's like a animated. Frankenweenie. Yeah. Did you like that one?
Yeah, I loved the original short with Barrett Oliver in it too as a kid. I had it on VHS.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So we'll talk some more about Morgana. Mike, go ahead and lead us in to Saturday morning, because I know you got mixed feelings about getting into this part of the of our reviews on here.
All right, so here we go. ABC season 2. This is a really interesting season of Darkwing Duck. A lot has changed. We're not going to see Quackerjack, Liquidator, or Bushroot ever again. Not much Fowl. Honestly, we're going to see them once as a cameo. All the big animation studios that we got used to last season are gone. Disney Japan, Disney Australia, Kennedy, they're gone. We're not going to see them. Only Sun Wu and Hanho Huang Up. I'm pretty sure that's a budget thing. Also, all the good studios are working on Goof Troop and Bonkers right now, so they're not even available. Different writers. We got Dev Ross back, Jim Peterson, Rob Benke, and John Humphreys are also going to do an episode as well. But a lot of the writers from the previous season are also gone. I think a really big difference with this season compared to the other Darkwing Duck episodes is this season was the one where Tad and the writers had to take notes from the network. They didn't have to do that with the first ABC season because, as I explained way back when, ABC took episodes that were already in production under the stipulation that they can't give Tad notes, so they can't change anything. That was changed in this season. Now, ABC was calling the shots, probably as to what the content was, which characters appeared, which is probably why Quackerjack, Liquidator, and Bushroot don't show up, because they weren't in the ABC episodes, but Negaduck and Megavolt were. So they show up here. Also, we get the return of Splatter Phoenix and the Alien Hats, who were Saturday morning characters as well. So you can kind of see why certain villains are appearing as opposed to ones who aren't. Okay. Clearly, someone at ABC was saying, we want these guys back. They were in the other episodes. We want you to use them again. Because I don't think they would avoid using Quackerjack if they could have helped it. That makes no sense to me. Goslin appears in every episode. I'm pretty sure someone said she had to be there. Every episode had to have her in it. You know, the audience identification. You want the kids to have a character like her. So she's in all of them. And I think the main reason we've got so much Morgana is that Fungus Among Us was a Saturday morning episode. So I think somebody must have said, she was a great character. Bring her back. Because she didn't appear in too many episodes last season. Here we got her in 3 of them. Okay. But there's definitely a different feeling about these episodes. I think the visual creativity that was in that first season isn't there. I don't think the episodes are as fun as they were, and there's a visual stagnancy to them because we only have those 2 animation studios. And I have heard from writers that worked on this season that ABC stipulations did kind of handcuff them a bit. It stopped them from doing things they otherwise would have done. So ABC does have a lot to do with why this season is the way it is. Now, my own personal anecdote is I went into this season really excited, expecting Quackerjack, expecting Bushroot, hoping the good animation studios are coming back. The episode that we're talking about today aired, and I really felt let down. None of the supervillains are in it. I just felt let down by it, and it's a weird feeling the whole season. It still feels new to me because I haven't seen these as many times as the original season.
I agree.
Even though they re-aired on the Disney Afternoon about a year later, I didn't like them enough to watch them over and over, except for a couple of them. So going back to this one, especially on Disney Plus, where it looks really nice and pristine, it feels so new. I don't have it memorized the way I do with the earlier episodes.
Yeah, I agree.
But saying that, we haven't named it yet, have we?
No, not yet. Go for it.
So Tiffany, what is the name of this episode?
Monsters R Us.
You know what's funny? It's the second episode title based on Toys R Us.
Yeah. I actually think Toys R Us is way better.
It's a more clever title. I didn't know what a czar was when I was a kid.
Yeah, me either.
Now, Tiff and Mike, did y'all see these episodes on their original air date on the Saturday morning?
Sure did.
Yeah, I saw this one when it came out.
Oh man, I was late. I was really late on this one.
So that means what Will missed and what me and Tiffany would have seen is a different theme song sequence. This episode, like ABC Season 1, has a different, and all the other episodes in Season 2, I should say, had a new theme song. The song itself was the same. Some of the clips are the same, but a lot of them from the previous ABC season have been changed to episodes that are airing in this season. Mm-hmm. Specifically, the first 4 in production order, Monsters R Us, Inherit the Wimp, Star-Crossed Circuits, and Revenge of the Return of the Brains Teasers 2. Clips from those 4 episodes are in this intro. Mm-hmm. But when these episodes moved to the Disney Afternoon, they replaced this intro with the standard one, and the new intro has never been seen since. Yeah. It never made it to Disney Channel. It never made it to DVD. It isn't on Disney Plus. The only way to see it is if you taped the original airings or if someone taped it and put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen like 2 or 3 different versions of season 2 on YouTube. We have one on our YouTube channel as well.
We might post it again on our Facebook group so everybody who's curious can go see it. Mm-hmm. One thing I did notice, and Tiffany, tell me what you think of this. When they sing the line, "Somewhere some villain schemes," they show a clip of Morgana.
Yeah, totally. From Fungus Among Us, right?
Well, that's at the beginning. They show, in that specific lyric, they show a clip of her from this episode.
Oh, talking about
when she's got her crazy powers, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's making that tornado.
That implies that whoever put the clips together didn't know she wasn't a villain.
Yeah.
So this episode aired Saturday, September 12th, 1992. Followed by, I'll just point out, this is trivial, the Saturday morning run of Goof Troop followed Darkwing Duck the very next half hour. The story editor for this episode was Doug Langdale. The writer was Michael Muir. Remember, he wrote Bad Luck Duck. He wrote this one, and he'll also write Mutancy on the Bouncy, one I'm not all that thrilled with. So this is the second Darkwing episode. Animations by Sun Woo. And it's okay. It's not their best, but there are some moments I like. What do you guys think?
There's a few things, nothing really major. I do like Darkwing as oh man, I'm gonna spoil it. No, I'm not gonna say it. But I do like the transitions though. I really like the transitions. It's a huge upgrade from what we've been seeing, compared to the other season.
You want to mention a few of those?
Go for it. Or you want me to name it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I like the blood transition, the knife.
I love that one.
Yeah, the bat. I think there was one with a door. For some reason, I keep thinking like I saw a door shut and it was a transition.
There's one that's similar to the blood, but it's black slime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah. Yeah, there were some good transitions on this one. I really liked it. It seemed like ABC was like put in the budget like, hey, we need. I don't know if they had plugins back then, but we do now. That's what we call them, plugins on a transition. So I'm assuming they said, hey, upgrade those plugins.
I'll give credit to Sun Woo because that would have been something they had to do.
Okay.
And I have a fun bit of animation I like. I'll mention as we get into that. So yeah, we're talking about Monsters R Us today. Should we start talking about the plot?
Let's get into it. We got Darkwing with Gosling and LP, and they're heading to the Macawber mansion.
Yep.
Which is
a
little weird. It's a little weird because Darkwing's going to surprise Morgana with flowers, but he decided to bring Launchpad and Gosling with him.
Yeah.
This is the first actual Morgana episode in which Launchpad and Gosling are in it together.
Oh, Yeah, that is
Fungus
true.
Among Us was just Launchpad. Ghoul of My Dreams was just Launchpad. And Valentine Ghoul was just Goslin. This is the first one where all three of them are in it.
Oh man, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, good eye.
I'm good with trivia like that.
All right, so we got Darkwing. He's at the front door and he accidentally falls in, and they start playing like a game of peekaboo to find Morgana. They're opening doors.
Did anyone notice the Headless Horseman?
Yeah.
And then that's in the titles too, the theme song.
A whole bunch of scenes from this episode ended up in the titles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the clock, there's one door that's like floating clocks. I think that's either a reference to Alice in Wonderland or possibly the Haunted Mansion.
And then Darkwing opens one door and goes, well, she's not in the bat room.
Oh my God, that clock had to be Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
It took me a really long time to get that bat room joke as a kid.
So then they all fall into one room, which seems to be a portal all the way to Transylvania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
they end up in the medieval castle of Transylvania.
And the portal kind of looks like Negaverse.
It did. It really did. Yeah.
So they turn the lights on, and they are surrounded by monsters.
Yeah. Did you notice when Morgana turned the lights on, what the light switch looked like?
I think Darkwing lights a match actually.
Yeah, at first.
Okay, but yeah, when she turned on that switch, it looked like something like where the electrical chair would be.
Yeah.
That switch.
Darkwing Duck as a series is nothing if not morbid. So we get a whole bunch of brand new characters here. Obviously, they're Morgana's family. We'll go down the list here of who these characters are and who's voicing them. So Kat Susie, obviously she's Morgana. She's also Aunt Nasty, who is an older lady she kind of gets off on trying to cook Darkwing throughout most of the episode. She's also a one-eyed lady with a very thick Hungarian accent kind of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have a name though, but you can definitely tell it's Kath. Jim Cummings has a few of the characters. There's a two-headed guy named Screamy and Mimi. You know exactly that it's Jim because one head is Peter Lorre and one head is Woody Allen. And those are stock voices that Jim uses all the time for some of his characters, right, Tiff?
Yeah. Totally.
And Jim is also Globby. I think he's my favorite of all these characters. He's just a big green blob who's just really jolly. And he's fun. I like Globby.
Yeah.
And then Frank Welker is in this episode too. He's this big ogre guy another one who has no name, and he's a cat. Just a cat with a weird kind of piggish pug
nose.
He's
like a cat rat.
A cat rat, yeah.
Was the cat a reference to Alice in Wonderland too? He kind of resembled him a little bit.
Like the
Cheshire cat, doesn't he?
Yep.
Okay.
Darkwing is like, Darkwing's like, be careful, Morgana, there's monsters, and she's like, no, this is my family.
The disrespect.
Yeah, he says, or Darkwing says something like, I have to protect you from these monstrosities. That's no way to talk about my family.
Oh, just the way she says, my family.
Yeah. But LP's freaking out, Mike. He's like running away from everybody. He's like scared.
You know how Launchpad is. Everything scares him when it comes to this kind of stuff.
He steps in Globby.
Yeah, but Morgana's trying to get him to leave. She's trying to get Darkwing to leave and everything, but Darkwing reveals something to her family.
They're dating.
Yep. They ain't feeling that though. They definitely ain't liking that one bit.
He's a normal. They don't like normals.
Yeah.
But nobody hates normals as much as Morgana's dad.
Oh yeah, he comes down the stairs immediately when all this is happening.
Molecular Macawber.
But it's not just that they hate them, they're also scared because they run away from them.
Yeah. So who's Molecular voiced by Mike?
Liquidator himself, Jack Angel.
Yeah. But he keeps calling Darkwing a normie, right? Or normal?
Yeah, a normal, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he feels Darkwing's just not good enough for his baby.
Well, Darkwing's not really acting nice enough to even vouch for himself. Darkwing's already in pure jerk mode in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He's being pretty inappropriate around Morgana's father.
Yeah, and he tries to turn Darkwing into a slug.
He misses and turns something else into a walrus.
Yeah, he turns
Is that every time I see a walrus, I think of the Beatles. I don't know why.
I am the walrus.
slug or walrus. Choose your poison.
Oh man. All right, so Mike, what happens after that?
So there's a lot of talking. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of talking in this episode. This episode's wall-to-wall dialogue, which is going to be true for a lot of these ABC episodes that just don't have the budget for a lot of action scenes. A lot of talking, and that's pretty much what we get. One thing that does keep happening is that Morgana is really treated terribly by her father and her boyfriend. Every time she opens her mouth, they both tell her to be quiet.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's I don't blame her for being in a really bad mood this entire episode.
Yeah, so she's pleading with Darkwing and her dad, and she's pleading more with her dad to give Darkwing a chance, but he's more like, I got a plan to scare them off, get rid of them.
So they have them over for dinner,
Hmm.
and I like this scene because this is where the Sun Wu animation gets pretty fun with Darkwing's reactions to the food.
Yeah.
They serve him pasta serpentina and Transylvania goulash, which it's just a common cartoon thing. Goulash sounds like ghoul. In every cartoon show with spooks and monsters, somebody gets served goulash. It's just a thing. And that happens here. They serve Darkwing Transylvania goulash. Then they give him Phantom Fizz, which this is great. Like, the animation's really funny here. He drinks it, he likes it, he smiles at the camera, and then he turns into a fireball. That's great.
Yeah, his fireball, he's bouncing around everywhere, goes through the roof, comes back, bouncing. It kind of reminded me of that McDonald's commercial with Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, where they were playing basketball and they were calling their shots. They were going like off the rafter, off the bleachers, off the goal.
This is the second time in this podcast you've referenced that commercial.
Really?
Yes.
I don't even remember the first time I did it.
I don't remember the episode, but we've talked about Nothing But Net before.
Yeah, Nothing But Net.
Darkwing does have a good line here. Malaculo says that Morgana deserves happiness, and Darkwing goes, "She doesn't want happiness. She wants me." That didn't sound quite right. So then Malaculo's patience is done. He decides to show the normals what it's like to be a monster.
Well, he says you wouldn't last 5 minutes as a monster.
Exactly.
Mhm.
The sequence where they're transforming after he zaps them, I think, is pretty well done. Especially when they're dropping into the spiral. They use that shot in the new theme song.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do like is they pick one of my favorite pieces of Darkwing Duck music as the transformation's happening. Tiffany, Will, do you remember this where it goes ba-dum, 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 and they play it really loud. It's like it really works in this scene. You don't see the other two transform, but what does Darkwing transform into, Tiff?
He turns into a werewolf, but a werewolf with a lion's tail for some reason.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, it's Darkwing's face, but he's all brown and fuzzy. He's a wolf. And Launchpad turns into a vampire bat. And my favorite out of the three of them is Goslin. Will, what is Goslin?
She turned into Frankenstein's monster.
But it's a great design.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. She's got these giant 5-fingered hands. Really, really great. Goslin is the one out of the three of them that I think is really like creative, the monster she turns into. Because Darkwing it becomes all about just dog and wolf jokes with him, and Launchpad's just a bat, but Goslin's a monster, and that's really cool. She takes off her neck bolts and her head falls off.
Yeah, and I think with the vampire bat Launchpad that they had to, maybe it was like because of the censors or something, but the whole episode they're avoiding saying blood. Or like blood.
But he's really craving it. He really wants to drink blood, and it like freaks him out that he wants it so badly.
Yeah. It just like reminds me of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s when they had Morbius and they couldn't say that he wanted blood, so he had to say, "I need plasma."
Yeah, and it's funny too when LP goes to I think Nasty's mirror and he can't see his reflection. Was it Aunt Nasty's?
I think it was that other woman with the one eye.
Oh yeah, the Cyclop one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Darkwing's fed up and decides, you know what, we're leaving. We're gonna head to the village, which is a big mistake.
Very big mistake.
I do like the joke that Moleculo mentions they're going to cross the line, and Morgana's like, you drew a line between the village and the castle. And he looks so ashamed of himself that he actually did something so childish.
I Love Lucy style.
Goslin notices the line, and she's like, should we be crossing this line? And Darkwing's like, whatever.
So they go, like, says, that's just some weird old custom.
Yeah. So they go into the village, and who do they meet?
The villagers.
Including the village leader, who's played by Jim, in this really thick, like, Scandinavian accent that none of the other characters understand.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Tip. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's pretty heavy Frankenstein reference with the villagers' designs.
They all have pitchforks and torches and stuff.
And
that's what I was about to say. They came out with stereotypes with the pitchforks and the torches, you know.
And like having the army character too.
Yeah, he did not. Oh my God, I'm so glad you caught that. I was gonna say that. I was like, how come that guy was dressed like a general or something? Like he did like, not.
It's a specific Frankenstein reference.
Oh, okay.
So Darkwing has an entrance, a somewhat modified entrance considering he isn't a duck anymore. I am the terrier that yaps in the night. I am the schnauzer that digs up your petunias. I am Dark Wolf Dog.
Yeah, but that didn't last long because he plays a game of fetch.
Yeah, and it turns out these villagers are not scared of monsters. They know how to deal with them now, and they chase them back to the castle.
Yeah, but God wants to kind of fight the monsters. The villagers off, but that didn't go well at all either.
Oh, I love this bit with Launchpad, and I know you guys think it's great too. Launchpad decides to scare them, and he flies over. Blah! I'm a vampire bat. Blah 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 blah.
Oh man.
This episode has its moments. It's not a favorite of mine by a long shot, but it has its moments.
Okay. Yeah, so the villagers, they plan to destroy them once and for all. They're done with the monsters.
Right. And so Moleculo and Darkwing want to prove that their ways of fighting is better. Moleculo wants to prove monsters and being spookies, better, but Darkwing wants to use technology to prove that he can win. Basically, the two of them are just having a macho contest right now.
Yeah, but Morgana has the best plan.
But they're not listening to her.
But she says a really good line and says, "Father, if you blow up my boyfriend, I'll never talk to you again."
Oh man, but she has the most common sense out of all three of them right now.
If only they would listen to her.
Yeah. All right. So where we at now, Mike?
So Moleculo's trying to create an army using spiders. What do they turn into first?
Bunnies.
Bunnies, and then teddy bears, and then mean, nasty shoes.
I like that line too, where he's like, Morgana's like, shoes, and he's like, well, they're mean, nasty shoes.
Yeah, they look like high top basketball shoes, man.
And then he turns them into demon umbrellas, which I'm pretty sure, they're called Casa Obakes. They're demon umbrellas from Japanese folklore. They're actually a pretty big thing. If you Google search it, just Google search demon umbrella, you'll get all this Japanese imagery from folklore. I'm pretty sure this is like a direct reference to that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. The more you know. So demon umbrellas, and Darkwing's like, gee, you'll be protected if it rains.
Yeah, but Darkwing's plan is technology and combat strategy, right?
Glue bombs, camouflage, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Digging trenches, which Goslin's good at, because, it's funny, the heights are reversed now. Launchpad's the smallest and Goslin's the biggest.
Yeah, but Morgana's getting really upset that nobody's listening to her. She's starting to hit her boiling point. She's getting there.
And then the villagers show up. They don't just have old world weapons. They have tanks, they have fighter jets, and I guess because ABC didn't want guns, they have lasers instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody has shotguns, nobody has pistols. You would have seen it at the beginning of the previous season, but I don't think we're going to see guns anymore on this show.
Yeah.
It seemed a little weird to me.
Yeah. Now both sides, Darkwing side and the monsters, they're getting their butts kicked, Mike.
These villagers are waiting for them.
Yeah.
Like you see a villager just laying up against a truck. When they get close, he pushes a button and a giant laser goes after them. Neither the monsters or the Darkwing side they're not doing very good here.
With the Darkwing side, it was a funny part where I think Gosling tried to throw the grenade and Darkwing went to go fetch it.
Yeah.
Yup. Yeah, the glue grenade. He ends up getting glued to the ground. So Morgana's still trying to get them to listen to her. She says, why don't the normals and the monsters work together? But that's Darkwing's cue to have him and Malakula work together against the villagers. So they form a truce. I do like this. They go, shake, woof, good boy.
Oh, man. But Tiff, Morgana reached her boiling point now, though.
Yeah. That's it. I've had it.
She's done being told to be quiet. What does she do?
Go ahead, Tiff.
Goes full on mega sorceress and flies in the air and makes like a giant hurricane and zaps both the normals and her family. And
she ain't playing around.
And
not playing around.
Yeah. And then she gets all nice and floats down on a cloud. You don't really want to hurt my...
Yeah.
Doesn't
Malakula make a comment like you should have seen her when she got stood up for the prom?
Oh yeah.
Full carry mode.
So, because nobody wants to get on Morgana's bad side now, they all find a way to compromise.
Yeah. So how did they compromise, Mike?
They open the castle to tourists, and they make a lot of money doing it.
Yep.
Which is again kind of Hotel Transylvania reminiscent.
Yeah. But we get a final scene with Darkwing and Malakula, though.
Yeah, Darkwing, they agree that, everything worked out okay. And Darkwing also says, can you change me back? I can't go home looking like Winky the Wonder Dog, can I? So Malakula agrees to change him back. And what does he turn Darkwing into, Tiffany?
Umbrella. A Darkwing umbrella.
So they're not ending the episode on good terms, are they?
Oh no.
No.
All right. So that's Monsters Are Us. Tiff. Me and Mike rated her a long time ago, but we rated her on Fungus Among Us. How would you rate her overall as a good guy, as a villain, just in general, the whole package?
I want to give her a 5, but I think I'm gonna have to do 4.5 because of some of the like what I was saying earlier about when they make her like more pathetic of a version of herself. Mm-hmm. Which isn't that great. So as a whole, like in the show, I'm gonna have to do 4.5.
4.5. Okay. I don't even remember my previous score of hers. I'm gonna stick with you right now, 4.5. So because we're so far into the show, I really like her. I love like at first how she is a bad guy, and then I love how she has college debt. I love her lackeys with Eek, Squeak, and Archie. I wish they were in this episode. I love
no room.
Yeah, there was just so much going on and so many characters in this episode. But I do like how she's the one, like with the what does she call it? Diplomacy in this episode. And then like I love how like they show her like as a complete sorcerer for once, not like where she was, constantly screwing up. I've always just loved Morgana. I always thought she was so fun. What about the voice actress, Tiff?
Oh, yeah, I think she's great.
Yeah. And what's funny is back then I didn't know who she was. I didn't know she was Phil and Lil and Rugrats, and I didn't know she was Lola Bunny. You know.
Kath is amazing. She's such a
Yeah.
good voice actress.
Yeah. Is she voicing Lola in the new Space
Yes.
Jam?
No, but she is coming back as Lil and Phil in the new Nicktoons, the new Rugrats show.
Whoa, I didn't
Okay.
know they were doing that.
It's
Yeah.
it's a CGI Rugrats show coming to Paramount Plus. But she's not coming back as Lola.
Okay.
Are they getting,
Mike.
like a big name for that?
Yeah, they replaced her with somebody else.
All right, so Tiff, we're saying farewell to Morgana. Any last words you want to say? Even though we're gonna see her 2 more times, but this is our last chance to really talk about her. Anything you want to say?
I don't know. I'm definitely gonna miss her. I did like that she got to be in the title sequence. I was really happy about that as a kid, and yeah, I mean, I guess she made it all the way to the end, right?
Yeah, I just wish they had more stuff of her, like merchandise besides the pin and the Funko Meanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted like an action figure as a kid, and they never did it.
We almost got one.
Yeah, that Wave 2, right? Of the
Yeah.
Playmate.
I saw
She's
that.
she's a fan favorite. She's an all-time fan favorite to the extent that people were hoping she would have shown up in DuckTales. And I'm like, really? That's not going to happen.
That would be awesome.
But maybe in whatever Darkwing reboot we get, she'll come back.
Yeah.
I do want to say we skipped over the line in the episode, but it's like my favorite line in it is when Gosalyn's giving Morgana advice and says, "Why don't you turn Darkwing into a water buffalo?" And she says, "No, I have to make him see the wisdom of diplomacy." And she's like, "Then turn him into a diplomatic water buffalo." So great.
That was a good one. Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess we're done discussing Morgana, but we do have to rate the episode.
Okay, let's rate this episode. Mike, you start us off.
All right, I'm gonna give this one a 2.5. That's average. I feel like it's got some good things about it. Some good voice actors are here. Some of the dialogue is fun. But I feel like there's too much dialogue. I feel like there could be more stuff going on. I'm also still almost 30 years later, the stigma of this, there not being like a supervillain in this one, and just I felt let down by it, and I've never really gotten over it. In general, this isn't a favorite season of mine at all, and it's just, this one's okay, and it's not one I ever go back and rewatch. And I feel like even for Morgana, this isn't a great one for her because she's being so diminished by all the male characters in it, constantly being told to be quiet. And like Darkwing and Morgana never really have a nice, sweet moment together. It's like the toxicity of their relationship is really starting here, where he's just a jerk and she's so. Her first scene, she's already angry at him, and he did nothing wrong. He didn't mean to show up, but she's already telling him to get lost, and he's being a complete jerk to her family. And it's like all the sweetness in their relationship we were seeing in other episodes is kind of going away in these later Morgana shows. And I feel like it's not the best use of her, you know? They could have done better with her. And if they were going to use her 3 times, I wish they would have done more with her. But 2.5 isn't terrible. It's average. How about you, Will?
I like this episode pretty much more than you. I'm going to give it a 3. I actually like it. I think a lot of the jokes are so funny, with Darkwing saying, what did he say again about her happiness? Is
she doesn't want happiness. She wants
me. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. We skipped the part 2 when Launchpad was drinking the ketchup. Oh my God, I thought that part was hilarious, man.
I don't know how much longer I can hold out without the real thing.
So I really do enjoy this episode. It does lack a super villain. I will give you that. I love the transitions in this, and it's way different from the usual Saint Canard, Darkwing episode, superhero. Seeing him fight with Molecula the whole time, I thought was hilarious. I do enjoy it. I give it a 3. How about you, Tiff?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree and give it a 3 because I think that there's definitely like some issues with it. Like what Will said, it's a little wordy, and it also I don't know, some of this, there's like problems with the story, I think. Like how they even get there, like the setup for the episode is a little awkward. And but I love the Macawber family, and it's their introduction, and it's great. And I think, I don't really like Morgana and Darkwing's toxic relationship, but at the same time, it's pretty cool to have that in like a cartoon and not just have it be like, yeah, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you too. Yay, we're gonna skip off into the sunset. Like, it's pretty cool in a kid's cartoon to show like not a perfect relationship.
Speaking of their relationship, we didn't mention another scene where Darkwing's trying to rub his relationship in Malaculo's face.
Yeah.
And he says, tell him about the little nip she left on my neck. You neck with my daughter?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He was being inappropriate in front of her dad. Not cool. I think I didn't catch that as a kid, but now it's like...
Yeah, now you get it. Oh,
but
man.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of funny moments in it. I think the animation's pretty good too. It could have been a little I think Fungus Among Us definitely had way better like spooky vibe and knew what it was doing a lot more. But
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing we're not going to see anymore. The visual creativity isn't there the way it used to be. That's a shame, but it's something we have to get used to.
Yeah. Okay, but that's not bad though. 2 3s and a 2.5. That's not bad.
No.
Okay, not bad at all. All right, so last thing we need to do before we move on and wrap this episode up, Mike, are we gonna rate Malaculum?
Well, might as well. He isn't a villain, but he is a new character, so we could rate him.
All right.
A little bit of a foil for Darkwing.
Yeah.
All right, Tiff, you go first.
I actually really like him. I think it's hilarious, their relationship and the whole relationship with Morgana. So I think I'm going to give him a 4.5.
Oh, hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
I'm going to give him a 3. He's fun. I love the voice. Jack Angel does a good job with the voice. The design is cool. And I love that he adds a little bit of conflict with Darkwing and Morgana's relationship. He's cool. I wouldn't want to see him all the time. You only see him one more time. I like other characters in the family more than him. I prefer Globby and Aunt Nasty, but he's cool. I like him. 3.
You love Globby. You
I
love
do
Globby.
like Globby. Globby's just fun.
Mike loves that Globby.
And I like Aunt Nasty. She just keeps trying to cook Darkwing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Aunt Nasty now reminds me of I don't know if anyone watches Steven Universe, but it totally reminds me of the corrupted gem like at the beginning of the show.
No, never seen it.
If you guys
it's very similar.
If you guys could have heard our little pre-talk before we started recording, Mike mentioned Globby back then too, so he loves Globby.
Globby's fun.
He is.
All right, I'm gonna give him I'm gonna go 3.5. I like Malaculo. I really like him a lot, and he works with Darkwing, even though they're both on the same side. It kind of reminds me of that like the two brothers who don't get along type thing, and they both got the same goal. I don't know. The closest thing I could think of right now off the top of my head is Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. They both had the same goal, but they were so different. So
I like that they both love Morgana. They both want what's best for her, but they're both chauvinistic jerks, and they don't realize how much they really have in common.
Yeah, his character really works for Darkwing. It really works, because it's like he's pushing his buttons. Yeah, so, go ahead, Tip.
I was just gonna say, like, I forgot to mention when you said his design was really nice. It kind of is pretty reminiscent of the Hatbox Ghost from Haunted Mansion too.
Yes, I see that. Yeah. Oh, really? I like the big red eye.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up Monsters Are Us, Mike. What we got coming up next?
All right, so next week we have the episode Inherit the Wimp. That's the one where Gosling goes back in time and brings back 3 of Darkwing's ancestors. We find out they're big, gigantic losers. But we get Megavolt back. We also get the Time Top but no Quackerjack.
That's weird.
It's really weird. I think it's the
Weird.
moment. I think it's the moment where I was like, "What? We're not getting Quackerjack back?" Well, I'll vent about that next week. I'm sure you will too, Will.
Why wouldn't they just have the golf cart?
Yeah, I know, right?
They left that back in the Middle Ages.
Oh.
So Inherit the Wimp is next week.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be nice to see Megavolt again, that's for sure, at least. The very least, Megavolt's back.
Okay.
And that's it. Yeah.
All right. So for the people tuning in the first time, Mike, where can they find us?
We are on all podcast apps, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and you can also find us on YouTube. If you do some searching around, you can find that ABC Season 2 opening theme song. We have that up there somewhere. You have to go back a bit, but it is there. So if you want to see what it looked like, go check out our YouTube page. Okay.
All right. I got one shout out today, Mike, and I'm giving a shout out to this lovely lady named Tiffany Silver Braun. Yeah, make sure y'all check out some of her fan art. It is so amazing. She actually, Mike, she did some artwork for a couple of cosplayers that I know that requested it that are overseas. They all, yeah, she did like a cartoon version of them in their cosplay photos. Nice. And they all loved it. They were like, "Oh my God, whoever she is, Will, she can draw amazing."
Yeah, you're a really good artist, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if anybody is a newer listener and wants to hear more of the episodes Tiffany was on, she was on 2 previous Morgana shows, Valentine Ghoul and Dead Duck. We also had her talk about her Disney Afternoon memories a few months ago, and she was on Merchant of Menace. So if you enjoyed Tiffany tonight, she has 5 other appearances with the show, so go ahead, binge them. They're fun. We had fun having her on, and we had fun having you on tonight, Tiffany. Mm-hmm. Thank you once again.
Yeah. And my favorite drawing that she has that's non-Darkwing was the one that she did with those dolls, Mike. Did you ever see that one?
Yes, that is really cool.
Oh, man, that was so awesome, man.
I'm going to do a sequel to that, and it's going to be all ventriloquist dummies.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
I also think Tiffany's art is a part of the reason me and Will are obsessed with Morgana's feet.
It's the first time we ever see it.
In a healthy way, not in a weird way, but we never do see her feet on the show.
Yeah. One last shout out real quick to Dev Ross. Thank you for creating her, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for creating Morgana. We love her, man, so much. All right, so that wraps up Monsters Are Us, and tune in to next week. Stay dangerous.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Blah, blah, blah.